Stories are reminiscing about life. My name is Osadumebi, and every week, I usually tell you a short story written by a Nigerian writer or author. But this is Series Week, where I tell you a story over the course of 2 to 7 consecutive days. Basically, however long it takes to complete the story. Series Week will occur once a quarter, and the stories featured will still be written by Nigerian writers and authors, but will either consist of a sequence of related episodes from one story or a set of stories linked by a common theme. That's the long and short of it. So without much ado, today's story is by Joshua Owolabi, and it's one from the Lagos Uber Stories collection, and it's titled Old Papa Youngy. Listen in tomorrow for another story in the collection. I had to be in Ikeja for the mainland block party. Even though my friends delayed me, I had no choice but to wait for them because they had the tickets to the event. I was not about to pay for new tickets when I could easily forgive and forget their lateness. That was just one out of the recommended 70 times 7. They had about 489 left. I still had a lot of grace for them in my forgiveness book. Finally, they called, and I was asked to book my ride. It was 11:59 p.m. For a time that late, imagine my surprise when I saw I was on a ride with a grandpa. Who let grandpa out? That was the question swirling in my mind as I got into the car. I greeted him, and he mentioned that he liked my dreadlocks. He asked what I used to grow my locks and how long I had been grooming it for. I told him the locks resulted from me not combing my hair and just leaving it to grow without seeing my barber for a year. He was surprised and said he didn't know locks could grow that way without actual planning. When he told me he used to have dreadlocks, I gave him a bombastic side-eye because this man was not only bald, his hairline was similar to Rihanna's. He went ahead to tell me his story. He said the car he was using was on hire purchase. He was paying back to the person who gave it to him. He said that he had repaid 1.5 million naira out of the 4.5 million he owed for the car.
So, if you ask me why I am outside until 5 a.m., that is why.
Oh, is he not reason enough? He asked. I nodded slowly because I could relate to the hustle. But he had not long mentioned he was 70. I felt it was not worth it given his age, but I did not say anything. He continued his story. I only went to a secondary school, and once I failed Form 3, my father took me to a mechanic shop around Bariga to enroll me. I was very young when I started learning how to repair cars. I enjoyed it immensely. And my boss, he liked me working with him. So by the time I was 19, I had made enough money to buy a car. I purchased a Peugeot Saloon because it was in vogue that time. You see, back then, that was the Mercedes-Benz of our time. So after buying my car, I would go to the clubs in Surulere and to Fela Shrine in Ikeja all night. Then, on my way back home, instead of driving in my car alone, I would pick up people, and then I would charge them for my service and drop them at their various homes or their next destination. That way, I could recoup the money that I spent on petrol and more. The first time I did it, I made a lot of money. And I figured I could buy another car
if I were doing it every night. However, I didn't do that. I did not buy another car either. I started living and meeting new women every night. That time, it did not take a lot to woo a woman, you know. You just needed to dress well and look good enough for them to go out with you. Since I did not attend school as much as I wanted, I always used to dress like a graduate. People did not ask who you were once you looked clean. So when I used to tell them that I was a mechanic, they assumed I was an engineer and that I worked in a big factory. So I married my first wife when I was 21, and the second one 2 years later. My firstborn is closer to 50 than 40. So that shows you a lot about the type of life that I lived. I went ahead to have 10 children with different women. Oh. By the time I was 30, I was flying all over Nigeria to experience the culture, the environment, and of course, the women. If I'm not mistaken, I've been to every state in this our Nigeria. I decided not to leave the country because what was I looking for out there that I did not have here? So that's how, after being a mechanic for several years, I learned to be an engineer, and I was part of a popular Nigerian sitcom on TV. Life is a party. People come and go, but the party never ends. I feel a lot of pity for the young boys and girls nowadays. They have had to leave this our beautiful country before they can make it, thanks to the kind of leadership we have had. And we, the older ones, we are also at fault, We did not prepare for you guys at all. We allowed these guys to ruin the country. Now, it has been one fight after another. That's not good. One thing that we old kakos do to the younger ones is that we play the respect card each time we are asked to be responsible and accountable for our actions. I know a day will come when we will not escape the anger of the younger ones. Okay, look at me now. I am also affected by this thing. But then I am 70. What can I do? The only strength left in me is driving this car and moving you guys from one place to another. My children, they complain daily. And I am sure you're right about me not just staying at home and relying on their old man allowance. But who will feed me if I do that? So I choose to be out here at this time of the night till 5 a.m. to make enough money for myself. Fair play to him. So I asked him about safety from people who might want to take advantage of the day's turn to rob him. He said he tries to converse with everyone and that he throws his age around. At least, you will not want to rob your grandfather. Or what do you think? He asked. We both laughed and settled into a brief, comfortable silence. The Google Maps app on my phone notified me that we had arrived at my destination, but we were not at the exact spot my friends had described to me. I called one of my friends to confirm the place again. By this time, my grandpa driver had gone round the roundabout and pulled up to a gate with plenty of boys hailing people who were walking in. I thought it was a setup. You can't trust anybody in Lagos. Grandpa told me that he knew this place well because he had been dropping people off here constantly over the last 2 weeks. So I thanked him and paid for the ride. Before he left, he told me to have fun and not forget that I'm only young once. I also told him to have a safe night and to not forget to rest because time is money, but money cannot buy time. Joshua is a writer who resides in the United Kingdom.
He is a content marketing manager for tech and non-tech companies. You can read more of his work on Medium at Joshua Owolabi and connect with him on X at This Is Ayomi. Details and links will be in the episode description. If you've got a story you would like to be featured on this podcast, or a published book you want to make into an audiobook, send an email to info@osadumebi.com or send me a message at osadumebi on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X. I look forward to collaborating with you. And if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell someone, everyone, that stories are a good escape for a few minutes each week.